Goodness knows you've been looking long enough. With the Volvo XC90, you've finally found what you've been looking for. A luxury SUV with seating for up to 7 people and loads of cargo space. Not to mention premium technology, including Google Maps, Google Assistant and Google Play. The Volvo XC90 is what you're looking for. Now at special run-out pricing from $99,990 plus on-roads. Visit Volvo Cars and discover why the XC90 is the vehicle for right now.
You're listening to the Weekend Sport Podcast with Jason Pine from News Talk ZB.
The biggest day on the American sporting calendar is Super Bowl 59. Tomorrow, underway at around 12:30 New Zealand time. The Kansas City Chiefs looking for an unprecedented three-peat.
First and goal. Mahomes flings it. It's there! Hardman! Jackpot! Kansas City!
And this was the Andy Reid special and the game-winning drive of Mahomes' career. He's been waiting for. He's won Super Bowls, but he's never had it in an overtime. He is the best. He is the standard. Your Michael Jordan wins it again.
Yeah, so Kansas City up against the Philadelphia Eagles, who they beat in the 2023 Super Bowl. Now, regular listeners to the show will have enjoyed, as I have, the regular emailed thoughts of Leon in Melbourne, among other things. A massive NFL fan, and not just that, completing a dissertation as part of his university studies on the impact of the transfer portal and name, image and likeness as an abridgment between college and professional sports in North America, specifically the NFL and the NBA. So we thought, let's get Leon on to preview Super Bowl. Leon from Melbourne is with us, Leon Busby, to give him his full title. Thanks for joining us, Leon. How are you, mate?
I'm great, thanks, Jason. First and foremost, thanks for allowing me to come on your show. I know you're an award winner there, and you're the top of the totem pole, so to speak. But living here in Melbourne, I often listen to your show, and I love your work.
Well, it's great to have you as part of the show today because we, as I say, assumed that you would be right across this. So let's go team from team, starting with the Kansas City Chiefs. They've made Super Bowl 5 times in the last 6. They've won the last 2. It's a fiercely competitive sport. What has made the Chiefs so good for so long, and do you back them to go 3 on the trot?
Yeah, so there's a number of reasons why the 2-time defending champions are back to try and win an unprecedented 3rd straight Super Bowl. Why don't we start with the guy who everyone knows plays under center for Kansas City? It's Patrick Mahomes. So he's played in 7 straight conference championship games since he became the starting quarterback for KC, which is unheard of. This will be his 5th Super Bowl, having won 3 and lost 1. The one he did lose, he had most of his starting offensive line out injured. So, and this is all before he's even turned 30. So Mahomes is adept at finding a way to lead his team to a win, particularly in the moments when it matters the most. Part of his identity that you can't replicate is Mahomes is such a force in football that a lot of people often just call him number 15 now, so even a lot of people are calling him the GOAT in waiting.
The Mahomes-Travis Kelce connection, let's talk about that. Why is that such an effective combination, and is it one of the greatest we've ever seen?
Yeah, so the Chiefs have a well-balanced offense with their wide receivers and running backs, but yeah, it's tight end Travis Kelce. He's crucial to Kansas City's success, so he forms a lethal pass-catching tandem with his quarterback, among the very best in NFL playoff history. So I think it's something like they've combined for 1,745 yards, 19 touchdowns, and 20 postseason games together, producing 3 Super Bowl wins. So given the numbers and the age they are, I mean, this is going to carry on for a little while longer. I mean, we think about guys like Joe Montana and Jerry Rice and how they had that connection, but Mahomes and Kelce have really taken it to another level. So, they're really hard to stop, and they've just got that unbelievable connection between both of them, yeah.
All right, so apart from those two and the incredible consistency that you've talked about, what else is it about the Kansas City Chiefs, specifically this season, that has been so impressive?
Well, for your listeners who have been following their progress during the season, they've achieved what we call they've won 12 games by one score, which is sort of unheard of. So they just find a way to win. They know how to sort of bring up the players in the big moments. And one of the main people in their coaching staff. There's a guy known as Spags or Spagnola. He's their defensive coordinator. So he's the only defensive coordinator, I think, in NFL history who's won 4 Super Bowls. So he has a way of sort of lining up their defense against teams, and especially more so against a team like Philadelphia, who have a really potent offense. So, yeah, their defense has really stepped up this year and sort of kept them going. A lot of people have criticized Kansas City because their offense hasn't been great, but you know what? They still find a way to win, and that's what makes a champion team.
Indeed. All right, well, there are 2 teams in Super Bowl, so we should perhaps talk about the Philadelphia Eagles as well. Are they capable of stopping this juggernaut that is the Kansas City Chiefs?
Yeah, well, the NFC champions, they've had a really great year, and that's been based on their purchase in the off-season of running back Saquon Barkley. So Barkley has really been the difference for the team this year. Philadelphia have some great wide receivers and a really good tight end as well, but really Barkley's been the difference for the team. I think he passed the magical, what they call 2,000 mark rushing. He actually could have broken the regular season record, but they decided to rest him in the last game. So that was a bit of a shame, but he only needs 30 more yards to get the all-season rushing record in the Super Bowl, so I'm pretty sure he'll do that. But yeah, Saquon Barkley has definitely been the difference for the Eagles. For the Eagles this year.
What about at quarterback, Jalen Hurts? We know about Patrick Mahomes. How do you assess Jalen Hurts' ability to step up for this big occasion?
Yeah, so Hurts, if we think about the Super Bowl from 2 years ago in Super Bowl 57, he actually outplayed Mahomes in that game, but obviously because they lost the game, he didn't get Super Bowl MVP, but he could have if they had won. So he's another good player who can do a lot of damage from the pocket with his arm, but he's also another threat on the ground. So besides Barkley, if we look at the championship game when they beat Washington, he ran for 3 touchdown scores as well as Barkley. So he's a threat from the pocket and also with his legs as well. So that gives Philadelphia a lot more options in terms of their offense as well.
Both great offenses, though, Leon. So who has the better defense?
You know what, Piney? I got to be honest that this could be like on the toss of a coin because they're both so good. We look at Kansas City; they have a future Hall of Famer, Chris Jones, who he's considered the best in his position as a defensive tackle. So he gets after the quarterback, and quite often he's one of those guys that has to be double teamed as well. Philadelphia have some guys there in the offensive line who can cause a lot of havoc as well. So it's really hard. It's going to be hard to pick the winner because it's so close and evenly matched. And if we look at the current odds, both teams are pretty even. I think Kansas City are like a 1.5 favorite, which isn't a lot when you think about it. But yeah, it's going to be really close. It's going to be a hard one to pick.
Yeah, indeed. So in that case, I won't ask you to make a pick, but I will ask you what will decide it. What is it likely to be a one-score game? Will it be decided on a moment of inspiration by one of the 2 quarterbacks? How do you see this one being decided tomorrow?
Yeah, I think if you look at Kansas City, their head coach Andy Reid, he's nicknamed Big Red. That's his nickname, but he's been in this situation many times before. Interestingly, a lot of your callers, a lot of your listeners may not know that Andy Reid actually has the winningest record for both teams because he was at Philadelphia for about 12 years and took them to a Super Bowl. I think they won 5 AFC championship games as well. So, and obviously with his success in Kansas City, he's got that experience. So I think in terms of that, you can't really replace experience, but in saying that, I think the biggest factor in this game will be whether Kansas City can shut down Philadelphia's running game because Barkley's lethal. So often in games you'll see like he might get 3 yards, 5 yards, 10 yards, 7 yards, and then he'll just go off on a 60-yard run. So they need to, I think that's going to be the determining factor who's going to win this game, that they need to shut down Barkley. If they can, that shuts down Philadelphia's options in terms of attack. So I think really that's the biggest factor. A lot of experts are talking about that. If Kansas City can somehow close down Barkley's running game, then Kansas City could definitely three-peat.
Leon, you've given us great analysis, mate. Thanks so much for joining us. Really, really pleased that you could do so. Enjoy the game tomorrow. I know you're a Chiefs fan, so you'll be able to, now that you've given us the very objective analysis, you'll be able to get your Kansas City Chiefs gear on and hopefully cheer your boys home. Thanks so much for joining us today, mate.
No, thanks a lot, Piney. Thank you for having me on.
No, thanks for joining us, Leon. Leon Busby. One of our regular contributors, and on the basis of what we've just heard there, I think a regular contributor moving forward as well. There you go, Super Bowl 59 tomorrow, 12:30, Kansas City Chiefs against the Philadelphia Eagles. Just a point of clarification, I said an unprecedented three-peat. That is true as far as Super Bowls are concerned. I've had it pointed out to me that the Green Bay Packers won 3 in a row, but that was before Super Bowl was a thing. They won 3 straight championships when it was determined by the regular season record. They did that twice, actually, 1929 through 1931 and also 1965 through 1967. But no team has ever won 3 straight Super Bowls since that came into being in 1967.
For more from Weekend Sport with Jason Pine, listen live to News Talk ZB weekends from midday or follow the podcast on iHeartRadio.